The UFC made the announcement of a 2-year partnership with Canadian casual dining chain Boston Pizza at their Front Street location in downtown Toronto. On hand for the announcement was UFC Canadian Director of Operations Tom Wright, along with fighters Mark Hominick, Sam Stout, and Sean Pearson.
I talked earlier about, you're judged by the company you keep, and that's why we're so happy about this deal with Boston Pizza. But also, when you're on these screens around a Boston Pizza and you see the NHL, baseball, NBA, the UFC, that's that whole thing that you're talking about. You're that company you're keeping, and you can find UFC events. You can see our athletes, and that only helps to build our sport.
This is a huge announcement today, and the one thing that I do really appreciate with the Boston Pizza is they were on board before everybody else is. You see a lot of things when something gets popular. It takes a long time before the big partners jump in. But I can remember doing UFC nights at Boston Pizza years before many of the bars showed it. So it's nice to see that the guys who've been long-standing supporting the UFC coming out as a forerunner for promoting the events.
UFC welterweight Sean Pearson can recall a time when you had to search to find UFC events being played in bars, and is now experiencing an overflow of demand.
For me, there's a lot of things I couldn't find a UFC back in the day, and it's funny because I've been to bars to watch UFCs and not been able to get a table, where I'm like, okay, great, I can't get a seat here. I've called ahead to try and reserve. We don't reserve and I'm like, fun, good times. At least now, if I'm doing an appearance, they'll have a table for me, so it should be fun.
We also inquired with Tom Wright about the rumored December 10th return date to Canada for the UFC, and if Toronto or Montreal may be a destination point.
You know what? A random Saturday, maybe around the 10th, if I were you, I would stay very close to both Quebec and Ontario.
Hey, what do you get when you take 2 old roomies, a bed full of used condoms, and a prank that could be deemed inappropriate?
You got a grudge.
You darn right you do.